From Plan B for the middle class, a kind of flying. By our wedding day, Brady had heard the word luck 200 times. Everybody had advice, especially her sister, Linda, who claimed to be wise to me. Linda had wisdom. She was 2 years older and had wisely married a serviceman, Butch Kisselberg, whose status as a GI in the Army guaranteed them a life of travel and adventure. They were going to see the world. If Brady married me, Linda told everybody, she would see nothing but the inside of my carpet store. Linda didn't like my plans for the ceremony. She thought that letting my best man, Bobby Thorson, sing El Paso was a diabolical mistake. El Paso, she said. Why would you sing that at a wedding in Stevens Point, Wisconsin? I told her. Because I like the song. I'm a sucker for a story, and because it was a love song. And because there wasn't a song called Stevens Point. Well, she said that a day so long ago. That is no way to a wedded bliss. I wasn't used to thinking of things in terms of bliss, and I had no response for her. I had been thinking of the great phrase from the song that goes, maybe tomorrow a bullet may find me, and I was once again recommitted to the musical part of that program. What raised all the stakes was what Brady did with the cake. She was a photographer even then, and had had a show that spring in Stevens Point Art Barn. A hilarious series of eye tricks that everyone thought were double exposures. Toy soldiers patrolling bathroom sinks and cowboys in refrigerators. Her family was pleased by what they saw as a useful hobby, but the exhibition of photographs had generally confused them. When Brady picked up the wedding cake the morning we were wed, it stunned her. Just the size of it made her grab her camera. She and Lint had taken Clover Lane by the Gee place, and Brady pictured it all, the cake in the foreground and the church in the background, side by side. When Brady pulled over near the cottonwoods a quarter mile from the church, Linda was not amused. She stayed in the car. Brady set the wedding cake in the middle of the road, backed up 40 feet, and lay down by the hardtop there. And in the rangefinder she saw the image she wanted. The bride and the groom on top of a three-tiered cake, looking like they were about to step over onto the roof of the First Congregational Church. We still have that photograph, and when you see it, you always hear the next part of the story. Linda screamed. Brady, her eye to the viewfinder, thought a truck was coming, and that she was a second away from being run over on her wedding day. It wasn't a truck. Linda screamed at two birds. Two crows, who had been browsing the fence line, wheeled down and fell upon the cake, amazed to find the sweetest thing in the history of Clover Lane, and before Brady could run forward and prevent it, she saw the groom plucked from his footing, ankle-deep in frosting, and rise in the beak of the shiny black bird, up into the June-blue sky. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, Linda said that day to Brady. That is a bad deal, that, she said, squinting at the two crows, who were drifting across Old Man Gee's alfalfa, one of them with the groom in his beak. That is a definite message. Then, Linda, who had no surplus affections for me, went on to say several other things which Brady has been good enough, all these years, to keep to herself. When Bobby Thorson and I reached the church, Linda came out as we were unloading his guitar and said smugly, Glenn, we're missing the groom. Someone called the bakery, but it was too late for a replacement. Almost 1 o'clock. I dug through Brady's car and found some of our guys. An Indian from Fort Apache with the hatchet raised in his non-matrimonial gesture. The mummy, a translucent yellow. A kneeling green soldier, his eye to his rifle, and a little blue frogman with movable arms and legs. I was getting married in 15 minutes. The ceremony was rich. Linda read some Emily Dickinson. My brother read some Robert Service, and then Bobby Thorson sang El Paso, a song about the intensities of love, and a song which seemed to bewilder much of the congregation. When Brady came up the aisle on her father's arm, she looked like an angel, her face blanched by seriousness, and I found out later, fear of evil omens. At the altar, she whispered to me, "Do you believe in symbols?" Thinking she was referring to the rings, I said, "Of course, more than ever." Her face nearly broke. I could still see her mouth quiver. Linda didn't let up. During the reception, when we were cutting the cake, Brady lifted the frog man from the top, and Linda grabbed her hand. "Don't you ever lick frosting from any man's feet." I wanted to say, "They're flippers, Linda," but I held my tongue. That was 20 years ago this week. So much has happened. I've spent 1,000 hours on my knees carpeting the rooms and halls and stairways of Stevens Point. Brady and I now have 3 boys who are good boys, but who I expect will not go into the carpet business. Brady has worked hard on her art. She's finished her new book, Obelisk, which took her around the world twice, photographing monuments. She's a wry woman with a sense of humor as long as a country road. Though she's done the traveling and I've stayed at home, whenever she sees any bird winging away, she says to me, "There you go." And she may be kind of right with that one. There have been times where I've ached to drop it all and fly away with Brady. I've cursed the sound of airplanes overhead, and then when she comes home with her camera case and dirty laundry, I've flown to her and she to me. You'd find out after a day in a good life that your family is the journey. Now Linda's oldest, Trina, is getting married. We're having a big family party here in Stevens Point. Butch and Linda have all come north for a couple of weeks. Butch has done well. He's a lieutenant colonel, stationed at Fort Bliss, and they all seem to like El Paso. Trina came into the store yesterday pretending to look at carpet. People find out you're married for 20 years and they ask advice. What do I know? I'm just her uncle, and I've done what I could. For years I laid carpet so my wife could be a photographer, and now she'll be a photographer so I can retire and coach baseball. Life lies before us like some new thing. It's quiet in the store today. You can count sparrows on the wire across the road. My advice, she smiled yesterday when I told her, just get married. Have a friend sing your favorite song at the wedding. Marriage, says, what is it? Well, I said, it's not life on a cake. It's a bird taking your head in its beak and you walk the sky. It's marriage. Sometimes it pinches like a bird's mouth, but it's definitely flying. It's definitely a kind of flying.